Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 1, and we are going to discuss one of the fundamentals of teaching learners with special education needs, which is the importance of assessment. A child has educational needs if they have a learning problem or disability that make it more difficult for them to learn than most children their age. They may have problems with schoolwork, communication, or behavior. Parents can get help and advice from specialists, teachers, and voluntary organizations. So, we have special education to ensure students with learning disabilities receive specialized instruction designed to meet their unique learning needs. That way, they too get an opportunity to reach their full academic potential. For students with special needs, inclusion means everything because they thrive in the presence of their peers. Special education is an intentional intervention designed to mitigate the challenges that keep students with learning disabilities from understanding concepts. We believe special needs students require wholesome support, so we also specialize in promoting partnerships between educators, families, and the community at large. How can we assess students with learning disabilities or needs in special education? Now, let us understand the role of assessment in learning. What exactly do we mean when we talk about assessment of student learning? At the course level, assessment provides important data on the breadth and depth of student learning. Assessment is more than grading. It's about measuring the progress of student learning. Thus, assessment is defined as a process of gathering data to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of student learning. Assessment plays an important role in the process of learning and motivation. The types of assessment tasks that we ask our students to do determine how students will approach the learning task and what study behaviors they will use. In the words of higher education scholar John Biggs, what and how students learn depends to a major extent on how they think they will be assessed. 1999, page 141. Given the importance of assessment for student learning, it is important to consider how to best measure the learning that you want your students to achieve. Assessment should integrate grading, learning, and motivation for your students. Well-designed assessment methods provide valuable information about student learning. They tell us what students learned, how well they learned it, and where they struggled. Assessment then becomes a lens for understanding student learning, identifying invisible barriers, and helping us to improve our teaching approaches.
Assessment plays a foundational role in special education. Students with disabilities are complex learners who have unique needs that exist alongside their strengths. Effective special education teachers have to fully understand those strengths and needs, thus these teachers are knowledgeable regarding assessment and are skilled in using and interpreting data. This includes formal, standardized assessments that are used in identifying students for special education services, developing students' IEPs, and informing ongoing services. Formal assessments such as statewide exams also provide data regarding whether students with disabilities are achieving state content standards and how their academic progress compares to students without disabilities. Teachers are also knowledgeable about and skillful in using informal assessments, such as those used to evaluate students' academic, behavioral, and functional strengths and needs. These assessments are used to develop students' IEPs design and evaluate instruction and monitor student progress. As reflective practitioners, special educators also continuously analyze the effect and effectiveness of their own instruction. Finally, these teachers are knowledgeable regarding how context, culture, language, and poverty might influence student performance, navigating conversations with families and other stakeholders, and choosing appropriate assessments given each student's profile. To develop a deep understanding of a student's learning needs, special educators compile a comprehensive learner profile through the use of a variety of assessment measures and other sources. Example, information from parents, general educators, and other stakeholders that are sensitive to language and culture to analyze and describe students' strengths and needs, and analyze the school-based learning environments to determine potential supports and barriers to students' academic progress. Teachers should collect, aggregate, and interpret data from multiple sources, example, informal and formal observations, work samples, curriculum-based measures, functional behavior assessment or FBA, school files, analysis of curriculum, information from families, and other data sources. This information is used to create an individualized profile of the student's strengths and needs. Teachers face a variety of challenges as they instruct classrooms full of unique learners. Students with disabilities are often in the general education classroom alongside their typical peers, which places added responsibility and pressure on special and general education teachers to provide an appropriate learning environment for all children. Assessment plays a critical role in placement for students with disabilities, as well as designing instruction and setting goals. Assessment includes a formal standardized testing that helps teachers compare a student's performance with other children their age. It also includes informal classroom-based tests such as a spelling test, which gives an added perspective on how the student is doing in their current classroom with the curriculum being taught. Assessment may measure academic performance such as math skills, reading fluency, or word recall. It could also include behavior testing, which focuses on whether a student gets along with peers, follows teacher directions, or remains on task during class time. In some cases, teachers will also assess a student's social skills to determine if they need explicit instruction on how to join a group, introduce themselves, or express frustration in an appropriate fashion. Teachers use the results to determine a student's eligibility for special education services, to set goals for child's school year, and to plan their lessons and instruction.